Yeah, I think people become cops and because they like watched Bad Boys. They're like, I'm gonna be just like Will Smith. I'm gonna drive around in a Porsche and fight crime. And then they get there and they're in an old Crown Vic that smells like vomit and piss, just sitting at an intersection, trying to catch an old lady running a light so that they can meet their quota and not get fired. And then they get to wash their own cruiser on a Saturday afternoon.
And we're live. I really feel constrained by your rule set. And I do want land.
You just hand out being a lord. You got to be like a queen or a king. Like you got to go first, impress one of the few remaining
thing. That'd be like, oh, I'm Sheriff Woody. Like, are you?
Actually, no. Sheriff Woody is fucking hilarious. I think that's what I should be.
That's the most easily attainable power in the world. Sheriff? Perhaps is becoming a sheriff.
You have to win an election, right?
You just win a fucking election. No qualifications or skills. Just be popular enough that they'll make you the chief law enforcement officer over an entire fucking municipality. You rule the roost. And the things you have access to, I'm talking like armored personnel carriers and machine guns. Like right off the bat, you just put in a request form and you can get them and the county will pay for it. And you can just sort of choose to enforce or not enforce laws. You know,
so I just have to win an election to do this.
Yeah,
like local election,
like a fucking popularity contest. Yeah, like 1,800 votes or something.
And I need everyone out there to mail in their ballots.
It's absurd the power that a small town sheriff has.
Yeah.
Did you see that small town sheriff that got arrested? It was kind of popular on the internet maybe 2 weeks ago. Did you watch the arrest?
No.
It'd be hard to show on PKA because it's like 18 minutes long. But the cop was such a dick. He kept complaining that his handcuffs were too tight, which was hard for me to respect him while he's like, owie, owie.
Wait, the sheriff was being arrested by like a patrolman?
So the sheriff had done something like selective law enforcement, and the city went to get his phones. They had a warrant for them. And he just kind of like didn't honor it. You know, he, like every step of the way, he's not honoring it. The warrant was for his body. So I give my phones to you. And he's like, well, you're kind of out of luck now. You can't search my body. I don't have my phones on me. And they're like, well, you just handed them to him right in front of me. I saw you do that. And he's like, yeah, so they're not on me. I guess you don't have any right to search Taylor over there. And
it's like a Magic Gathering trap card or something. The police are like, fuck.
Subterfuge card. We're fucked.
So they had to like come back with another warrant, I think. Like and he obstructed justice. I guess you can't not.
They come back and Taylor has given the phone to me. And I just give it right to them because I don't want any more trouble.
Yeah. Anyway, the real takeaway was what a dick this sheriff was. And all of his people were so fat and so unprofessional and seemingly dumb. And then the city cops that were arresting him really seemed to have their act together. Also, they were like SWAT team tactical versus like country bumpkin.
They were the next level up of like promotion. Where it's like, all right, now you get the cool shit.
Yeah, it did seem like it was people who knew the law versus people who didn't, kind of thing.
This is a funny little cop thing. I have a friend who's a cop, and he works out in one of like the safe county areas around the city. Where this was probably a couple years ago now, where I was talking to him at a get together. Like, hey, how are you liking it, man? Still liking being a cop? And he's like, honestly, it's so boring. Like, I'll get called to like a domestic. I'll get called to some kids causing problems at a park. It's just sucks. And then they started, like, when it wasn't Ferguson, it was like some subsequent riot. Like, it was been the last year or so, one of those like kickoff riots in like the last 5 months. They didn't have enough municipal officers, I guess, in the St. Louis city area. And so they pulled from the counties. And I talked to him again after that. And I was like, and I didn't know that had happened. I was like, hey, how's your transfer? Because he told me I want to transfer to St. Louis City, see some action, see some real stuff. I asked him again. He's like, how was it? Like, you still, your transfer going through? And he's like, nah, fuck that. That's so hard. I went there. It was awful. Some people were throwing like bottles at me and stuff, and like cans of things. And like, I was holding the shield up, getting like, he's like, it was just terrible. I hated it. I have a newfound appreciation for where I work now. And I was like, yeah, I don't doubt it. Like, if you're a cop, boredom is probably a nice little blessing, right? Where you're like, I'm bored. I'm bored. Nice.
Yeah, I think people become cops and because they like watched Bad Boys. They're like, I'm gonna be just like Will Smith. I'm gonna drive around in a Porsche and fight crime. And then they get there and they're in an old Crown Vic that smells like vomit and piss, just sitting at an intersection, trying to catch an old lady running a light so that they can meet their quota and not get fired. And then they get to wash their own cruiser on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Now he was telling me, he's like, oh, it was terrible. You just go down there. The guy in charge of you tells you where to stand, and then you can see people doing stuff, and you don't do anything. You can't do anything. You can see people doing stuff, but like at one point, like I guess the mayor had told them they not to pursue or something, and so they just had to like just do nothing. And so
your job is kind of target.
You're to make sure that none of these nice businesses get taken down.
We want them to focus their rage on you. And not this corporate entity right here.
Definitely not Bank of America. They lose this building, they may go down. Recoup that loss.
Yeah, you don't want to be a fucking cop. That's one of the shittiest jobs that exists.
Right now, especially. I would
crime scene cleanup or riot cop.
Oh fuck. One of them is dangerous as shit. The other one is so gross.
Scarring.
Actually, you know what though?
A slip danger.
I'll be wearing all that stuff, like that PPE kit and everything.
You'd be wearing a lot of riot gear as a riot cop.
That's true, but I know that the dead body I'm sweeping up or mopping up.
You're a big guy, but you'd like to crack some skulls.
I don't want to get in a riot.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Go in there. The cop, the one with the biggest helmet. How'd you know it was me? It's the one that when he packs back up into formation, reverse sounds come on.
You've got that helmet like on Spaceballs. You remember that with Rick Moranis comes out as fucking the Darth Vader character was, and his helmet is the size of like a fucking trash can or something.
It's moving around on his head, shifting every time he turns. Yeah.
I think I'd rather be the riot cop. That crime scene cleanup shit is just awful. I don't want to clean up blood and guts and gore, especially not, like you're probably imagining like a body that just died. Probably decomposed bodies almost all the time, and
someone who killed themselves in a tub like 3 weeks
dead
ago.
Children and shit.
I heard it doesn't pay well.
We looked it up one time. It pays like $12 an hour or something.
Yeah, they should get paid a lot. Okay, not even ignoring the whole payment thing. I guess you're right. Riot cop. Because I'm imagining now, like all the dead kids, all the people that killed themselves in the bath, and they've just been kind of emulsifying for about a month now.
Well, you just pull the plug and let them drain away.
I'm just saying that would give me a lot of nightmares. Out of
run the shower.
Like you see like dead kids when you close your eyes.
What if you took a shower and you got out and you still had the stink on you? I
bet that happens all the time. You know what they're using? 5-in-1.
12-in-1.
Your shampoo?
Yeah. My shampoo.
Yeah, you got to use 12-in-1, Mike, to get that dead child stink out. 12-in-1. Yeah, it's got deep.
Yeah, it's got deep.
You want the deep?
It's actually got Chanel number 5 in it. I smell great. I was wondering what that was. Yeah. So, yeah, I would say, I guess, Riot Cop, because the other one seems pretty nightmare-inducing and absolutely thankless. Nobody's ever like, thank you for cleaning that up. Like, I think that every single like detective, cop, medical professional, blood splatter analysis guy, every single one of them walking into there, like that room where the murder scene happened, where they need to do their job. It's even when like watching movies and seeing shows with this, I've always thought like every one of them is overjoyed that they're not the cleanup guy. They just get to come in.
They're in and out.
Yeah. The fucking blood splattered here or there. I'm not a killer. Don't look at me.
They come in and they're like, murder. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. It stinks.
He's dead because his head is missing. It's like, all right. Well, your turn
to find that head. Mike, you're going to want a hose. Good luck.
That would be depressing as shit.
Yeah, it would be awful. All right, so crime scene cleanup so what's worse than crime scene cleanup? Let's kind of keep this train going. There is, of course, septic tank guy. The guy who pumps septic tank.
Mike Rowe is always pitching that job to me. Right? He's
Really?
always like, yeah, there's jobs out there you don't think about that pay good money, that are honest day's work. Like this thing. You take the poop out, you put it in a honey truck. Then you take the honey truck to this big concrete lake and you pour it in there. And I'm like, you seem to be skipping over that this is all poo you're dealing with. This is a yucky job.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think it's that bad, though. I don't think I definitely would prefer it over crime scene cleanup because the truck does all the hard work. It seems like you're kind of hands off. Like you hook the hose up, it sucks the poo out. The poo's in the truck. You put the hose out, it pumps all the poo out. Like you wear gloves, maybe some waders or something.
It's true. It's not like you start the siphon with your mouth or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right, we got the shit out. You ever siphon gasoline? You're like, you get that one mouthful of gas. You're like, all right, it's not so bad. Gasoline doesn't taste bad.
Oh,
Who
really?
does?
It's fun. I find even the fumes. Like I have done it, and sometimes I suck in the fumes. Not even gas. But it's like,
yeah,
like it's.
I don't love it. I'm not over there like, oh, it's a 93 octane. But it like compared to alcohol, I think gasoline tastes better than alcohol.
I've never tried gasoline.
Oh, you should.
No.
Yeah, you call yourself Australian. Actually, he never calls himself Australian.
He calls himself an abo. You're not much of an abo if you don't siphon gasoline. See, that's why your didgeridoo is slipping.
I need to wet my whistle with some gasoline.
If you were huffing, so if you don't know this, it's kind of a stereotype over there, like the ligament thing might be over here. The abos, which I'm pretty sure is a derogatory term for them. They're known to steal. There's no way it's not, and I'm fully aware of that. They steal gasoline from cars. They siphon it out, so everyone has to have those locking gas caps. It's a well-known thing that got to keep your car locked up, but they'll see you feel.
I can't imagine that makes you feel better than just getting drunk.
No. They're stealing the gasoline.
But that one guy who's from there was saying they're huffing of it. Like they huff
Well,
gas.
of course they huff it, but they've got so much of it. Why wouldn't
That's just a natural byproduct of stealing it.
Yeah.
There's no way that you feel that good huffing gasoline. And imagine you get a headache, not a good buzz.